to another Farming Simulator 25 video, and today Giants have released the blog for steering assistant or GPS and the advanced workers, and I wanted to have a look through this because honestly it looks really cool. There's a lot of really good information in here, and if you're a PC player and you are familiar with GPS and courseplay, this brings the in-game workers and the new in-game GPS much closer to those mods. So I'm going to have a look at that in a moment. Don't forget, it's still not too late to pre-order the game. If you want to do that, you can use partner code Disturbed, or there is a handy QR code on the screen. So let's dive in and have a look at the information the Giants have provided us. So to activate the worker is normal. I'm assuming that's still going to be the normal H key to start a worker. I don't often use the base game workers. Obviously you can bind that to whatever you want, but if you hold that button down, then you get up this new settings menu, and some things that stand out to me is Giants have clearly listened to the feedback that they got when they first introduced this feature. So what does it allow you to do? Well, it automatically detects the working width for the auto AI worker, so that's really good, but it also lets you adjust it. So if you've either got multiple tools attached and one of them is narrower, you can choose to do that. Or if you're using a modded tool and it hasn't picked up the working width properly, you can adjust it. And for those of you on console that aren't familiar with, for example, courseplay, this can be a problem with modded tools. So this is a great addition. You can adjust the number of headlands. Again, this is a great feature, particularly on modded maps or with bigger kit. Being able to run more than 2 headlands is great. You can tell the worker whether you want them to do the headlands or not. This is an interesting one. I guess maybe you might decide to do the headlands yourself first, or not. Or actually, no. Interesting. Reading the description, it says work the headlands. This tells your helper if the defined area should be worked like the rest of the field, therefore cultivated and harvested, or just defined as lanes to turn the vehicle. Now, given that you can set a number of headlands, I'm a little bit confused by that. It's not completely clear to me whether that's telling the worker to run the headlands as part of the job or whether to ignore them and just use them as turning areas. I guess we'll see when we actually get stuck into the game. What I do like is you can tell the worker, much like courseplay, whether they do the headlands first or the up-down rows first, and that depends on what you're doing as to which way around you might want them to do that, particularly for realism type things. And also you've got skip rows, or they call it skip lanes. So if you're running an implement that's got a big turning circle, you might want to put in a few of those to allow the vehicle space to turn. This looks really good. This is a good improvement over what they presented before, and it does seem like they've listened to some of the feedback that they've had, and this is very much like a almost console friendly version of courseplay. It feels like there are some features that aren't in there, but for a base game functionality, this is awesome. Really looking forward to having a play with this. We've then got the second option, which is steering assist, or essentially GPS. So with this one, you hit OK, the worker will get started, they'll do their thing. We then go on to steering assist, which is essentially GPS. As I said, you get a slightly different menu. So again, we can set our working width, we can set our number of headlands, you can have automatic working direction, or you can choose the working direction that you want the GPS lines to run at. I like that. I like being able to choose that myself quite often. You can account for an offset on the equipment. It'll detect it automatically. But again, particularly with modded kit, sometimes that doesn't work quite so well. And so you've got the option there to manually adjust it a little bit, and you've got the option to show lines or not, and I'll show you what those look like in a moment. Again, this is a really, really cool addition to the how things work. I really like it. It's much better than how Giants presented it before, which was basically you drove up to the field, you press a button, and the algorithms just generated you a course, and you had almost no control over it. So once it's done that, you click OK, and I assume it'll take you back to the game, and we then get presented with the playing in the game, and what you get is almost a lot like guidance steering type view. So you get the blue lines, which represent the working width. I'll show you some more of these pictures in a moment. The green line shows that you are active on a valid track. You also get, this is the in-cab view, you get a yellowy orange line when you are running on an active course. I believe that's the right way around. Let me just check that in the description. So no, green means that you are go. So the track that is selected is orange, and it goes green when the worker is locked on to the line. So in this view, you'll also see that we've got some grayer lines to the right and some lighter lines to the left. The grey lines are the rows that you've done. The lighter ones are rows that you've still got to work. I really like that feature. For a job like this, not so much of a problem, but for maybe things like fertilizing and that kind of thing, really cool. What it's not showing, and if I go back, you can see that it's maybe not too bad in a taller crop. Something that I like as part of vehicle control add-on is you can adjust the height of these lines. Not sure if that's going to be an issue or not, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on this and giving this a try, and having a play with it. They've really progressed how the interface looks, how the controls look. Some things that aren't in there so far. Saving courses for fields. How repeatedly the course generation works is going to be interesting, particularly if you're doing things in multiplayer and you both want to work the same field. With things like guidance steering, you can save courses and you can both load up the same course. And having multiple implements on AI worker. So with courseplay, you can have multiple workers, multiple implements running in the same field, and whether the AI worker will generate the same course for implements of the same size in the same field. That's all going to be interesting things to play around with and experiment with. So this is another view. You can see the grayed outlines on the right hand side of the tractor where the rows have been seeded, and then we've got the brighter white lines on the left of the tractor and the headlands, because he hasn't done his headlands first, he's choosing to do the headlands second, and then the orange line for the track that the tractor is going to be running on. Yeah, I think this looks really cool. If you think this looks really cool and you haven't yet, there is still time to pre-order FS25. If you do, all pre-orders include the McDon bonus pack with 5 machines included, and there's a QR code right there on the screen if you want to pre-order it. Or you can just use partner code Disturbed. If you're on, you prefer Steam or Epic Games, then you can in the future use partner code to pick up the DLCs or the season 1 pass when that's released separately through Giants, and those will work with your Steam or Epic Games versions of the game. Yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see you again next time.